Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to this wonderful, I think it's going to be wonderful. We call it the Triple Play event. It was the first thing that popped in my head. And all that means is that Cary and I are going to be showcasing 3 different models today. And these are models that you normally don't see us play on in Zoom. You don't see us demonstrating very often. You may see them occasionally in the store, but they are some amazing organs. So I'll tell you what we're going to do as we go. I'm going to start off today with this beautiful Lowrey Odyssey. And if my sound is going to be okay, hopefully, this will be a great way to check the sound. I did it 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 times already, so it should be okay. Is that angle okay? Cary, Joe? All right. Let's just get started, get these jitters out of my hands by playing some music. Here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hold the applause. Please, please stop it, stop it. Stay seated, stay seated. Oh, you haven't gotten up. Okay. All right. So we're going to have some fun today. I am going to be playing on 2 models, and then sandwiched in between, we're going to have Mr. Cary Price over there. He's going to be showing off another model. We'll get to that in a moment. This is the Lowrey Odyssey. And this was an intermediate model that was introduced, and it was not inexpensive. In its time, it was not inexpensive. And they had so many amazing features and innovations that actually some of what you still see on some of our flagship models today. First thing they wanted to accomplish was this, in this model, in this series, they had an actual walnut cabinet. Some people really prefer the furniture look, something that would go really nice in a home. I remember I had a student once, a couple, and she was the player, he was the support. The husband was the support, and they were looking at it, and she was kind of doing one of these things, and she really liked it, and he was kind of like, well, I don't know, it's too much money. And she said, honey, my organ's wallpaper, and this is walnut. And I want the walnut. Anyway, we have a beautiful display here that shows you the, you can't see it from that video, but you have the chord and the tempo. You even have to transpose. Typically, these models came with a bench. This is a super bench. This is being recorded, so I'm going to share it with the world. It's a very magical bench because when you open it, it's very nice. It opens up. You can put music books. It's a 2-way bench, too. It opens up this way, and it opens up this way. Very, very special. Very, very special bench. Yes. Okay. And then you can store music books and what have you. And they're really nicely padded. The foot pedals are there just in case we ran into occasional organ player. I'm going to be playing all just easy play, one finger kind of stuff. But the magic on any organ over the years I've discovered was in the music styles. And you're not going to hear all of them today, but we've got a ton of styles on here. On this panel here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 categories, and each one has 3 different styles. I'm going to go back in time. When I started in Fletcher Music Centers, I was 21 years old, and I had come from a guitar, rock and blues, classic rock guitar playing. And I remember everybody telling me, you better learn some Glenn Miller. You better learn Glenn Miller, because a lot of our students grew up in that era. And I was like, Glenn who? And they looked at me funny, and I did my research, and I fell in love with the music. So they have a lot of great music dedicated to that style of music. Glenn Miller, big band. And if I just put on the very first one here, you guys. Oh, I tell you. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Well, now that you have a style of music that you want to play, and I know many of you have seen us online or in person here, and while we're playing, we kind of reach up a lot, especially right in the middle. And what we're doing is using these things called presets. And a preset is exactly what it is. It's something that presets the organ for you to play very easily, so you don't have to try to find the combinations of sounds. So, for example, let's say I want to play some music, some Latin music, all right? I just simply push the Latin button, and then I have 3 choices. I can use your classic bossa nova, I can use a rumba, I'll use the rumba, all right? And automatically set up is a rhythm preset. Now, the rhythm preset automatically sets up the organ for you, and then I can start playing. But while I'm playing, if I want a different sound, something different to use, I can go over here and I can pick my pianos and guitars and vibes and try to find a combination that I like. Or I have these beautiful recipes here. They're instant recipes. It's even more instant than a microwave. You know, a microwave, you have to at least wait a minute. Here it's like in a second, not even a split second. And so while I'm playing, I'm just going to bounce around from 1 through 8 and use my rhythm preset. Now I have 8 plus the 1. There's 9 different setups for every one of the styles that's in the instrument. And I'm just going to pick them randomly. Here we go. This is a classic song that some of you, it might bring back some beautiful memories when you first started the hobby. Another number, there we go, 4. 8. 1. crowd roars and the crowd roars. Thank you so much. Hold the applause. Okay. Now I'm looking online, and many of you I know. I've seen you online. I've met you in person. And many of you, I know what type of organ you have. Okay? And so this is going to become, this is a feature that if you use it already, then you know the power of this feature. When it was first introduced, it was actually introduced on an organ called the Lowrey Royale, and it listed for $70,000. Right, so I call this the $70,000 feature. Well, it was such a great feature back then that we actually sold organs off of this one feature because it was the first time it was introduced. And why was it a powerful feature? Well, imagine you open up a songbook and you find a song you want to play. It could be something out of the classes. And you ask yourself, what buttons do I push to use it? So back then, we'd get a phone call and someone would say, Cary, I want to play this song. What buttons would I use? And he'd to push that, put that tempo. Oh, it's going to sound great. Or he'd demonstrate it in the store, and then he'd go home, and it wouldn't come out the same. Well, this was foolproof, and it's simple. It's called song setup. Now, why am I making a big deal of that? Because not everybody has this feature. If you don't have this feature, you need to have this feature. You'll want this feature, and it's real simple how it works. I just pushed a button that says Song Setup, and there are a list of titles of songs. In this case, I have 100 titles in this one. And then I find the song that I want to play. So let's say I want to play, and I scroll about When the Saints Go Marching In. That's one of those songs we kind of learn in the beginning of our hobby. It's like the first fifth or sixth song, something like that. But I want a good setup for it. Now what I'm going to do is turn off all of these buttons, okay? Turn off all the lights. Now I don't know if you'll see it from there. But the minute I find song setup and the song I want, and I press enter, it sets it all up for me to play the song instantly. So it's an amazing way for you to get a quick setup that's perfect for the song, and then you play your song. Oh boy, I hope I can pull this off. Forgot the first note. Let's see. Oh. Oh gosh, boy, that's kind of rough. Let me think about this. I need to, sometimes I'm my worst critic, so I think I'm going to do something here. All right, let's do that again. Song setup, When the Saints Go Marching In. Here we go. Well, what did I do over here, you ask? Well, over here, this instrument has a built-in what's called recording section for you, and it allows you to record up to 6 songs in the instrument. It's a great way to play, because when you're playing your song, even if you're experienced, we focus mostly on what's happening on the song and not so much the sound. We hear it, but we're not 100%. So sometimes it's great to record yourself and go back and listen and see if you did it right. Or see if you need to work on something differently. And so you can record yourself and go back and listen. If you don't like it, you can erase it very easily. So it's a great, great learning tool. Last thing I want to showcase on this model before I transport to Florida. Boy, we could do that in a snap. Boy, are we good or what? There's a couple things on here. First of all, this technology, when it was introduced, it's kind of like, I always tell the story, way back, I walked into the store at the time, I had a 98 Dodge Stratus. and it was only a couple of years old. You know, it was what I could afford at the time, but I was like, you know, I've got a pretty new car. And my assistant manager, every day he drove up, he'd get out of his car, and he'd take a cover and he'd cover it up completely. Every day like clockwork. And a lot of people ask, boy, he was really obsessed with his car. Well, yeah. The thing was, his car was about 8 years older than mine. Well, you know what he was driving? A gorgeous, mint condition, purple Corvette. Oh, so it was, I think, 8 or 10 years older. But boy, if I could have had the choice, I would have had that Corvette. I drove it a few times. But you know, technology comes in waves over the years where they introduce features that are so amazing. So, and the sounds. So for example, we have this little thing called category presets, and I think Cary's going to touch on this. Category presets is an easy way to get some of your favorite sounds, and they're so authentic. So if you listen to, for example, this is a category preset called Big Band. We have the trombone. Listen how authentic this Tommy Dorsey trombone is. Or this Tex Beneke saxophone. Or Pete Fountain or Benny Goodman's clarinet. Have the Andrews sisters in here. Do, 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 do. So many authentic sounds. Now, as I was playing that and I heard that saxophone, I thought this would be a great time to play a song like Georgia. But I want to go into a lounge and do this. And so they have a style on here that I actually absolutely fell in love with. It's called Smoky Lounge. This is great because you can use this style and you don't have to worry about getting cancer. It's smoke-free even though it says smoky. Now, yes, you have to, when you're playing those sounds, they sound very real, don't they? Oh, thank you. Stop it, stop it. In order to make it sound that real, you have to do all of those antics. You have to pretend you're playing the saxophone, blowing the trumpet, playing the guitar. All right, well, I'm going to come back in a little bit, but I think I want to transport my video, and I'm going to jump from Tucson, Arizona, and go all the way to Port Charlotte, Florida. Let's give it up for Cary Price, everybody! And he's going to be playing on the Lowrey Premier. Ooh.
I'm excited about that. I'm going to just start off. I like to start off with the Broadway rhythm, and then I'm going to tell you all about the Lowrey Premier. So we got the Lowrey Premier SE30, beautiful wood cabinet. And just show you, look, wood cabinet, and it has the roll top.
That's very clever. I'm going to have to use that trick.
Got the rack extender. So you have the rack up here, and you got plenty of room to put some books. And you can put stuff here, like pads and notepads and stuff here. And you have the panel lights, look at that, and the ABCs. And it also has the nice bass pedals in it. Has extra keys, more keys than the Odyssey. Starts with a C here. And also has the lower keyboard split down on the right side. Has the 10 presets, all 10. And I love the general presets. Number 9 is the jazz organ, like the Ethel Smith. Isn't that great? Number 10, the Glenn Miller Sound. So there's the 10 general presets. We have the big band preset, but now we also have 9 and 10, which are the ones that have the harmony with it. So we have the Guy Lombardo. The saxophones, and then number 10 is the big brass. But we have Latin category now. In the Latin category, we have the trumpet. This is a really good trumpet. We have the marimbas. Do the little wiggle. You got the steel drums. The flute. And the society piano. Marimbas that repeat in one finger. And Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. On number 10. Category presets. So you have your 10 general, big band, and Latin. Next thing that's really neat is it has more styles over here, a lot more blue buttons. We've got here now, we have the Latin 2, the ragtime, the rhythm and blues, and others. So I'm going to start off with the ragtime, no, disco. Under contempo is a disco. Watch this. It's great for other things like ABBA. Isn't that great? We have the ragtime, great for the entertainer. Look at the lower keyboard split. And the honky-tonk piano. Also, I have in, thanks, in Contempo, we have a nice style called folk style, good for like John Denver and Peter, Paul and Mary, or Glenn Campbell.
Ooh.
Here we go. Yay! I love that stuff. Glenn Campbell. And under that same contempo rhythm, we also have a basic rhythm, which I like to use for Patsy Cline. Or just remember, there's another feature. We have 2 auto basses. Listen what happens. Auto, walking bass. I like that. And then we have rhythm and blues. Old Man River, Summertime, things like that. In New Orleans, going up a paddle boat in the Mississippi River. Watch it. And then we have 200 song setups. Hit scroll, you get the sounds. We also have an octave switcher. Watch this. That's really neat. So you can have the full sound of the piano. That's really neat. So you have your octaves and your transposer. You need that for your settings. Oh, and it has new harmonies, 3-part, and 4-part. Someone said a while ago, oh, when you use the 3-part harmony, do it with French horns. Without, with. That's awesome. And we have the 4-part for like 4-part strings. And now when you record on a disc, so you press record. Hit stop. It turns green. You hit play. Isn't that nice? And that disc could be used on bigger organs, could be transferred, anything. So new rhythms, the 10 presets, recorder, the 200 song setups, octave. It's just wonderful. Isn't that great?
Give a big round of applause to Cary right there in the Lowrey premiere. Yay! Oh boy, you got a standing ovation. I did not. Tough crowd here, tough crowd here. No, just kidding. All right, now I'm going to mosey on over. Well, I'm not moseying, I already moseyed. Over to our Lowrey legacy. There are a lot of similarities between what you saw there and there. This is the wood cabinets on here were done just a little bit on a higher, what I call a little higher grade style, very thick. We still have the roll top here, okay, that pulls down. Whoops. And then you have the music rack, so you have your music can go on the top there, or you have a rack extender here that you could actually remove it if you want and tuck it away. You have your lights that light up across the dash, and this also has the disk drive on it. And the significance of the disk drive is you're not limited to the amount of songs you want to record into the organ. The other thing that we've talked about a few times were presets. Well, there are built-in presets in the organ. However, you can do custom presets on here as well. And so on this case here, I have a button called A and B. And A allows me to do 10 of my own presets. B does another 10 if I want. There's something in there always. And then once I reach my max, I can save it on the disk and then start over and then start over and start over. So it's infinite. But earlier I was talking about Glenn Miller. I'm going to do a lot of songettes because I want to play a lot of music in a short time. So continuing the big band music, one of the things that I love are the big band styles that I didn't play over here earlier. It was called the swing train. all aboard. It's been years since I played this song, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but can you see me up there? All right. I've been using this pressing here. This is actually called a touch bar, and I know many of you are spoiled by this option, and you should be, because the touch bar it actually does multiple functions. Anytime that I'm playing any style of music, at any time, I have a few different ways to activate the fill. The one way is to reach up and hit the fill-in button. Another way is a lot of the organs actually on the expression pedal, what I call the volume pedal. It has, if you click it to the right, you get a fill-in. And the other way is, because your hands are real close by, is you could just reach down and use your thumb as you're playing. So for example, a very popular style the other train, which is the country train, when you're playing the country train, while you're playing, if you just reach down, it'll activate it. And so it goes all the way across. Isn't that cool? It goes all the way across to the organ, so you can touch it anywhere that you want. Now, this touch bar actually has multiple things you can do with it. One of the things that a lot of students have trouble with, maybe not you, or maybe not you, Sharon, but I've seen people, and they put on, things like Hawaiian music, and they're playing some of their favorite Hawaiian songs. That nice little glide feature. A lot of people put their foot in there, and what happens is they do this. Maybe not you, all right? I've seen students, they make the attempt for the and they try to move it, try to keep their foot straight, and it's really tough to do. So what Lowrey did on the touch bar is they gave us an option that if I don't want to use the foot switch, I can actually program the touch bar by simply activating it and putting what's called the glide on the touch bar here. So watch. When you're playing, you wouldn't reach over like that. You would put your hands here. Let's see if you could see that. You would just, all you have to do is reach down on your thumb. awesome? Isn't that awesome? Oh, wait, wait, wait. No extra charge for all these little antics, folks. Now, I heard Cary mention that there were 200 song setups in the Lowrey Premiere. We have 100, 200. Guess how many this one has? Any lucky guesses? Do I hear 300? Very good guess. You just won yourself 300 virtual dollars. You can spend it anywhere you like, virtually. And with many new song setups in the organs over the years, it came many new signature styles. So for example, I'm going to touch and scroll to the M's, and this, oh, it went so fast, I went right past the M's. I'm going to go to the M's. I remember when this came out. I used to love this style. I still love this style. It's the song setup is Mr. Sandman, and it gives us the what were they called? The quartets, the girls who sang Mr. Sandman. Listen. Or when I started, I actually was in the A's. Yes, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much. Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it. When I started, I was in the A's, and there was one called Autumn Leaves was the song. I'm trying to remember the name, who a lot of people have done many of these great classics. I think his name was Roger Williams, was it? Well, he was the guy that was known when he played.
Williams.
Was it Roger Williams?
Yes.
I'm glad I got it right. See? Whew, I would have had to cut that out on this recording. Edit that out. Thank you very much, Gene. But Roger Williams, when he played it, he was a phenomenal piano player. And he'd do something like this. And then he'd take his hands and he'd do what's called a cascade effect. Now, that didn't sound right. He'd actually hit the right notes. Let me try it again. Okay, forget it. So I'm going to use the touch bar here to do it. I put on Autumn Leaves for the song setup, and it gives me a style called Autumn Keys. And then when I touch the touch bar, watch listen for the cascading effect. Years ago, I had to learn that song, and I fell in love. And I haven't played it so long. I was nervous about playing it today, and it just sometimes I play these classics, and oh, why don't I play the song anymore? Probably because I've had to learn so many other songs. When you get to be my age, you can't remember everything all the time. Okay. I see the looks out there. They're not. I don't see any sympathetic looks out there. Actually, a few of them are going. Anyway, no extra charge for the extra antics, folks. No extra charge. Thank you so much. Okay, now, so far, everything we've done has been using rhythm styles, which is, that's kind of important, right? When we're playing, we love to sound like those, like the Mr. Sandman song or the Swing Train or whatever we were using. Every now and then, I like to sit down and play where I don't want to play with all that, the background. I might want to play a slow song like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, or it could be a song like Memory from Cats, or anything slow and pretty. Love Me Tender. Maybe I don't want just a background. I want to just play. Here's the difficulty. A lot of students, when they turn on the organ, they put on this thing called the easy button, which is great. But if you hit the chord, okay, you hear that? Turn that down a little bit. And so they go to play that song, and then we get this phone call, and they go, "What's that hum sound?" Well, when you activate the easy button, what it's doing is it's turning on the one-finger chord system, or actually I should say the easy play system, because it means you can play it however you play. It activates the MCS. It also activates the auto bass, so you don't have to play the bass, okay? And it also activates a button called memory, okay? Now, some organs actually have the memory built in. You can't turn it on or off. Here I could do that, okay? But I don't want to. I want to play I'll play a little bit of the song. What I want to do is, when I'm ready to change a chord, I want it to kind of continue hold, okay? But I also want to be a little bit more, I don't want to say, I just want to make it nicer than that. I want it to be a little more pleasing and more enjoyable. So I'm just going to use a real simple feature they created on here, and all of the top-of-the-line organs have this, and it's just simply called golden harp. Now, on the Lowrey Legacy, there are two golden harps. You have a golden harp that just goes up, okay? And then you have one that goes up and down. So when you're playing your songs, they're all controlled by the tempo, so if you're not using a rhythm, you can put the tempo wherever you want and play slowly. Listen. I'm playing at a tempo of 160, but my fingers are playing at a tempo much slower. Listen. Beautiful. So sometimes some of the simplest things that you can do can make a song that you play constantly sound even better. Now you can hear it there, but you probably noticed the sound on here is a little different, and that's because this model, when it was introduced, was the first time that in this size that they actually put what we call monitor speakers here. So when I'm playing, I could actually hear everything here. Oops, let me put on the strings here. So the sound as I change the volume changes up from here, and I can all get this full, like a surround sound effect. Now, Cary mentioned category presets. I mentioned category presets here. I started with the big band category, and then on the Premiere we had the big band and the Latin category. On here there's two additional categories. I'll show off one of them. One of them is called Scared, and country. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It says sacred. Sacred. I got my letters inverted. Anyway, so sacred obviously is great for you know, a lot of hymns and gospel music, what have you. And then there's people out there that love their country sounds. And if I put on just a good old country rhythm here, this one's called Easy Country. I'm going to use the country category. I want you to listen, and I'll kind of cue you. When I get to it, I'll play a couple of the country settings, and then I'm going to push one of the presets that gives me Floyd Kramer. Now, we reference Floyd Kramer. You know who Floyd Kramer was? That's your mom and dad told you all about Floyd Kramer, didn't they? Well, Floyd Kramer, we commonly say he played a lot of wrong notes that sounded right, commonly known as grace notes. So he'd slide in. Let me put on a piano. And you got to get the notes right. You got to do it in the right place. Well, this feature will automatically do it with this country harmony. It does it for you automatically. Listen. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, and you know, I love my Latin music. And one of my favorite Latins on here is simply called the Cha-Cha. And boy, I just love the way. Now, what's really great, a lot of the styles have two ways that you can play the introduction. The first way is if you just hit what's called a major chord. It could be F, A, C, D, whatever it calls for. You get an introduction. That's pretty nice. Or I put on the minor chord and you get something totally different. Arriba! Oh, whew. I'm having a great time. I hope you are too. All right, well, I'm going to play one more for you. And Joe, if you're still there, this is for you, because I know he loves this style of music. I'm going to dedicate this one to Joe. Joe told me he was getting up in age, and so, you know, how old are you? You say, last time I talked to Joe, you said you were about 200 years old. I don't know how that could be. It's probably because he plays music. No, actually, if you ever get a chance to, I got to get Joe on a Zoom musical. The last time we had him do a show tune, I think it was a Broadway, or we had a theme. I got so much positive feedback of that show. So we got to get you doing a Zoom musical soon. But one of the songs that he loves to play is he likes to do a lot of Dixieland music, and they have a Dixieland here that's just to die for. But before I do that, real quick, I want to say thank you for joining me today. Before I finish off with this last number, Cary had to run off and work, and so I want to give him a big round of applause. And also, last but not least, I wanted to tell you that if you've noticed, you might have been getting emails from time to time, or if you're on our website, what we are doing, we had such a phenomenal year-end sale that we produced a lot of trades, and some trades that we normally don't have in inventory and in stock. And so what we decided to do is we want to do a huge clearance to continue to reduce some of that inventory. So I would encourage you that, and it may not be in these models per se. Let's see, do I have the right screen up there? No, let's see, where are you? Let me get the right screen here. Computers, let's see, there we go. So if you're looking at the right screen, it should say save up to 70% off. We have some phenomenal opportunities, and it's not limited to what you see in this list here. So if you get a chance, if you click on there, you'll see some opportunities. Organs as low as $988. For those who've never been involved in our hobby and they want to get started, we have beginners models as low as $988. Introductory lower end models as low as $24, normally $7,000 for these organs. Some organs are normally $12,000 marked down as low as $29.88 with anything on trade. We're also taking offers on a lot of great instruments. We have some symphonies and liberties in stock that we are also taking some really, where is that tag? Or does it say, no reasonable offer will be refused? Keyword is reasonable. I had a person say, how about $2? I said, I repeat, reasonable. But we're doing some amazing things. And why are we doing that? Well, we like to kind of keep in control of our inventory. We're working on getting some new inventory in very soon. And we like to just kind of do a clearance sale on that. All of the organs are going to come with warranties, parts warranties. They come with support from the staff members. So, you know, you don't get it. And no matter where you live, whether it's in Florida or Arizona, we ship all over. I've shipped in the last 4 years since being online and doing Zoom. I can't tell you how many organs I've shipped out of state, in some cases to the same person more than once, shipping organs back and forth. And you ever need a question answered, or if you need something, we have, I like to use the words unwavering support. We strive to give what I like to call legendary customer service. And we like to keep this industry going and keep the idea of recreational music making alive for many years to come. And that's how we do it in our sale of our products. And today we featured the Lowrey Odyssey, the Premier over at Port Charlotte, and the Legacy. And I don't have a Premier here, so they're very limited. That's another thing to keep in mind. We don't have 20 of these in stock. There's like less than a handful between Arizona and Florida. I have no Premiers here. I have one Odyssey here. There might be one in Florida. And they all represent great values at a fraction of a cost of its original price. So that said, I'm going to finish up with a Dixieland tune for you. Thank you for hanging in there with me. And let's see here. Dixieland, one button to set it up. And let's see where it goes. I'll put the tempo up a little bit. This is for you, Joe, for your inspiration and all your skill that you bring to the party here. Here we go. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I finally got a standing ovation. They're not standing. So someone's standing. I got a bunch of people in here. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. And I got a little notification finally. It says you've hit 90 decibels. Around 30 minutes at this can cause temporary loss. So I better stop playing at 90 decibels right now. With that said, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this. Even if you aren't looking at one of these models, just FYI, we have a beautiful Lowrey marquee available. We have a Lowrey Journey available. Only one of those, one of each. There are, I think there's only one Liberty in each state available. And then we have these three beautiful models. And all I can tell you is get with your staff members and find out. Now is a great time to buy. You know why? I don't know, because I said so. Because you love us. Support the hobby. All right. Thank you so much, and see you real soon. Mwah.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. I have to keep smiling into the end.